Hi guys, it's September 3rd and I wanted to take you on a tour of the garden so you could see what it's like now that it's September. Here's some cucumbers that I just cut. You can see that some of them are not edible. They've just grown too large. They can't be used, but there's a couple jalapenos in there. So I'm just going to walk you through the garden. So here is a little patch with my Tuscan kale and cucumbers that are growing all over the place. Underneath the cucumbers is bee balm, and so the bees were all over these. There's a little tomato bush in there. I don't know if you can see it growing. And then here's another tomato bush. This one grows like cherry tomatoes, little tiny tomatoes. You can kind of see them in there. It's pretty good, doing pretty well. Over here we have really nice flowers and a lot of coleus plants growing on the other side. You can't see them from here. I am allowing wildflowers to grow in here, and we're getting some really beautiful ones, like this one right here. I don't know what this is, but there's a bunch of those growing around. And these purple ones, I think I've sent you pictures of these. They're growing everywhere. And then back there is a cucumber plant. You can see my cucumbers are getting some kind of a disease or mold, but they're still growing like crazy. A little bit of kale back there that the rabbits have pretty much eaten up. And some, remember these flowers, your dad planted them. I've done a bunch of transplanting and put in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Here's a little pot filled with rosemary and thyme. I take this one in the winter time and just grow it in the house. Leave it in the pot. Here's some creeping nightshade, which is a killer. See if I can get some of that off of there. I'll take it off later. Just, you can see how it just like curls around the plant and then strangles it. Not good. Okay. My water barrel back there. I have to crawl through there to turn it on. Let's see. So here's a little guild that Woody and I put together in the autumn. And back here, these purple things is something Danuta planted. I let a couple of them grow, but they grow too crazy. There's some like plum tomato bushes back there. I don't know if you can see the tomatoes on them, but they're doing really nicely. Behind that is a comfrey plant and some more of these wildflowers. This is our pear tree, which didn't bloom any pears this year. But look at this. I'll take you to the top of the pear tree. Look over here. As tall as the pear tree. I'm going to go over here if you can see. I'm going to turn the camera. That's the top of the tomato bushes. That's the top of the pear tree. They're almost as high. I don't know how this works when you're looking at it. So these really gorgeous flowers here. Is this beautiful or what? All right, let me move back a little bit. All of that is fennel. It's really, really gorgeous, and it smells so good. You can't believe it. You know how fennel smells. It's used in Indian cooking and in sausages. This fennel plant here is edible and will go in my salads pretty soon. But the one behind it, which is a more amber color, is just kind of a perennial plant that will stay. Of course, here's those giant tomato bushes. They're heirloom tomatoes. Let's see if I can get a picture of some of the tomatoes for you. I have to pull them when they're fairly unripened. Here's some tomatoes. They're pretty large. You can see my hands. Those are pretty good sized tomatoes. And of course, they're going to grow all over the place, you know. They haven't really ripened. But the animals are eating them, so I have to pick them at a pretty young age. This is just mint and I don't know, some wild stuff growing in here, and bee balm. The bee balm now is kind of like had it. That's bee balm. The flowers are gone, but the bees were all over it. Now they're all over the plants, which is how it should work. So it actually works. So here's a kind of long shot of that little guild that we build, which is really gorgeous and smells so good. And then I'm letting a lot of wild stuff grow into the yard. These flowers here are what's called chamomile. And of course they make tea from chamomile. And I filled a bird bath because the animals are using it now all the time. A lot of wildflowers over here growing. I don't know what they are. But here it's kind of pretty. There's a lot of yellows and purples. And you can see what's going on here. Very pretty. And then here's our other pear tree, which doesn't seem to be doing so great. And here's more fennel. This is fennel that's all going to be harvested for food. I don't know when it's ready, but it really is beautiful and smells good. Here's the other pear tree. My compost, which is doing really well. I keep adding to it. And that's about it. I'm going to take you over back to show you the coleus plants because they're really beautiful. Look at these. I don't know if you can see them if the light is too crazy for the camera. These were almost given to me by some guy in a farmer's market. He was trying to get rid of them. They're really beautiful. Okay, so that's a long movie. Hopefully I can email it.